So my name is Javan. I'm a producer, radio producer at Capital XTRA under the global brand, and I do freelance tour management, photography, and also DJ. My first role in the industry was on the events team for Global Radio. So a few years ago, one of the global brands at the time, Choice FM, used to do an event which was called Roller Motion. So it was a roller skating event in Vauxhall. I attended that once, and I really enjoyed it. So I went back the next week. I bought skates. Me and my friend of mine went back the next week, and we were there every week from there on. I didn't miss one. And then it got to a point where I saw one of the event bosses, event managers that used to run the night there. So I just had a conversation with her. I was like, look, how can I get involved? She gave me a lot of good advice, and she was just like, cool, next week, come, I'll get you a t-shirt, and we just do some, random stuff at the event. It was just random stuff like helping, setting up, all that kind of stuff. I wasn't getting paid for it, but I was just there to help. And I had my t-shirt, my Choice t-shirt at the time. That was the starting point of where I am now. Well, I didn't exactly know I would have a career in the music industry, but I grew up listening to a lot of music. My family were very music orientated. My sisters, they used to blare out music before they went out on Friday nights. So that used to be an opportunity for me to hear the music that they were playing as well. A friend of mine called Miles, and he was a music producer at the time. And he used to make music for a lot of people in the area of the borough that I lived in. And I used to go to his house. Summer holidays, I was there every day. I used to practice, learn how to make music on his computer. So that's from there, this led to me later wanting to be more heavily involved in music. 3 tips to break into the music industry. I would say you've got to create your own opportunities. That's probably the main thing that I've taken away from the past 2-3 years. Creating your own opportunity is very important. Another thing would be to be very proactive. You can't afford to sit down and do nothing when it comes to this industry. Like, you can't afford to hope things are just going to happen. You've got to be making phone calls. You've got to be going for meetings. You've got to be, meeting the right people in the right places. You've got to be going to events. I was trying to have meetings with people, trying to speak to different artists about what they want to do. And this is new artists, about what they want to do and, where they see themselves in 5 years. And obviously they didn't know why I was doing it, but in my mind, I'm like, I know where I want to get to. So I'm just trying to do this to make sure I'm being proactive and understanding what this industry may be about. The third thing I would say is you need to be able to be adaptive. You need to be able to adapt to the environment that you're in. I think being in this industry, you're going to be in a lot of different environments around a lot of different people, and not everyone's going to be like you. So you need to learn how to adapt yourself to be in that environment, how to fit in very well, and how to understand the environment you're in so that you don't portray yourself to be a certain way that isn't receptive to other people. Well, at the time I was working freelance events, so I had a lot of time in my hands. I wasn't doing the events full time, so I still had time within the week. It got to a point where me and Mo knew each other, but then we were spending more time together. So we were just chilling, we were hanging out. There were certain events that we were going to, and it later led to him saying that he had a tour coming up. And I was like, oh, you got a tour coming up? Well, I kind of understand the premise of being a tour manager. So, because I'd worked in events where I'd done stage management or talent liaison, or I'd done, I've done a few other things within the event to know what certain processes and also the lead up to the event of the planning side of things as well. So I thought, well, if you need a tour manager, let me know. And I'll help you out. Like, you're my friend, innit? Like, I'd love to help you out because it will be organic. And then he said, okay, cool. I will pass your details on to my management, and then someone, either my manager or Live Nation, will get in contact with you. And then I got an email from his management, and then Live Nation as well. And they were just basically saying, well, Mo said that you wanted to be helping his tour, be his tour manager. And at first, he told me that because I'm his friend, his manager was like, oh, your friend's going to do it. Oh, okay. You want your friend to do it? Alright, okay. And I was like, well, at first I was like, what do you mean? Now, what's wrong with a friend doing it? He's my boy, innit? It makes sense. Like, it's just, we respect each other on a certain level, so it will make sense. I'm not any stranger to him. It's been put upon him, you know what I mean? So, so after he told me that, I sent her a document, and in that document, it was essentially a logistics form of all the different tour dates that we had then I put a lot of other information in that document, like just mock arrival times, day sheets, and other relevant information to her tour. And then when she saw it, she went back to him and said, "Nah, do you know what? I apologize. Like, this document alone, like just the structure of it, the layout, how it looks visually, I can tell he's gonna be good for this tour." And literally, this went from there. It went from us doing that tour in October, finishing in November, to them then announcing more dates, which we recently just finished, to them now announcing more dates at the end of the year. So now I'm still here, managing to do that tour work, and that also later led to me being tour manager to Michael Dapper, aka Big Shaq. You have to be patient, for one, because you're not always, if you're working on multiple things at the same time, you're not always going to get the answers that you need when you need them, or the relevant information that you need when you need them. You need to be able to have a level head and keep your cool at certain times, because it can get hard and it can get very stressful. But sometimes you just really need to take a deep breath, go somewhere quiet, clear your head, and then come back into it with an open mind. And being open-minded will definitely help you try and achieve that goal. Well, I go to the gym 3 times a week average. I try and take time for myself, whether it be just me unwinding, watching something on Netflix or on TV. I try to unwind, because if I don't, my mind's constantly thinking. Even when I go to sleep and wake up, I'm still thinking about the same stuff I have to do. So I try and turn everything off. I try not to look at my phone, try and put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and literally just plug out from the world, so I have my own personal time, because without that I wouldn't be able to function the next day. I would tell them to be proactive. I would tell them to create their own opportunities. I would tell them to network, because as they say, your network is your net worth, essentially. Like, it's I'm not going to say in this industry it's about who you know, but it's about who you know. The more people you know, the more it helps. The more it helps to get your name out there, the more it helps for people to understand what it is you're doing and why are you so talked about, or why can I constantly hear your name? Do I need to have a meeting with you? Sometimes, I guess it's not sad, but sometimes it's the way it happens. That's the way people get into certain roles, because people are talking about you, your name's ringing, and they're like, well, maybe we should get this guy to do this, because he's doing this at the moment. You just got to make sure that you're grinding and you're grafting and you're making sure that you're putting the work in, so that people can see the work. It's all about your work ethic. People need to see how much you're doing, how much you're working, because the more you do, even if you're getting paid or not paid for it, the more that things will gravitate towards you. And I'm a strong believer that that's my own journey.